Blessed love to each and every one. Give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. Emperor Haile Selassie I. It is a joy, my family, that you are definitely with us. Give thanks for your presence, stepping into the tiger's nest at this moment. I hope everything is up full. I hope everything is all right. Just pardon me there a moment, just coming in and all right. Yes, family, give thanks for the royal ones that are in the house. And of course, we will be having a wonderful program. I have the Honorable Prophet Sheldon, who should be checking in a few moments. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. And we will be speaking on a few different things. Specifically, we will be definitely going into the whole aspect of the Bible. Family, get started. Pardon me for that. We'll be speaking also concerning the African Liberation Day. As you know, it is a celebration moment even at this time as we are celebrating African Liberation Day. So we are very thankful for that moment and that time frame of celebration at this time. The 25th day of May, we're going into that. Of course, evening comes before morning. So we're basically going into the African Liberation Day moment. And as I said, we're going to be having a nice reasoning upon that when the good brother comes in. Yes, and we're preparing for the Tiger's Temple. Remember, the Tiger's Temple is a program that comes to you each and every Sunday. That is definitely a program that each one need to come into. That's the Tiger's Temple. This is not on the YouTube, not on this platform, not on the Facebook, but it's just those who desire to gather together where we exchange ideas and we exchange thoughts and, you know, we keep a good vibes in the Tiger's Temple every Sunday at 8 p.m. And this Sunday, we're going to have the Honorable Prophet Sheldon. He will be with us. And we'll also have the Honorable Brethren Wasia Heru, who we actually did an interview with the good brother. I think it's almost 2 weeks now, maybe a strong and a half ago. And we were specifically speaking of the Bible and its value and to Rastafari, etc. So that's basically the theme for this strong, you know, we're keeping that rhythm and until we gather on Sunday, and we may just change the theme to something else as we move on, you know, because it's basically an educational parlor here where we come together to carry the meditation to a next heights. So as I'm waiting for the brother to come in, just highlighting, of course, this is African Liberation Day moment, many different things that we will be speaking of tonight. And yes, many different things we will be speaking of tonight here. We are going to be going into, I'm sure many ones have heard of the slaughter that took place in Texas there. Yeah, interesting stuff going on in the world. I don't know exactly. Well, of course, they say it's 14 that has been massacred, and they shoot, and a teacher, children now, little children this time, little children getting blazed down there. But of course, there's no great detail as it relates to who they were that were slaughtered. But I'm sure by morning break or later tonight, you'll have a better idea of what is going on there. Yes, family. So we give thanks to the African Liberation Day. For in 1963, we'll get back to the slaughter sometime in the program. But in 1963, family, you know, this is the 25th day of May now. So it was from the 23rd to the 25th day of May, wherein we had the 31 free African countries, states, who gathered themselves together in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And of course, with the 32nd free state, which is Ethiopia, formed that unity that was really the first step in a united state of Africa. This can be proven because even when Haile Selassie I was in the United States of America and he was on Meet the Press, and even before he met the press, you know, just the words that President Kennedy was speaking of as it relates to Emperor Haile Selassie I, and clearly showing in such a short time of just 10 years, we've seen a revolution in Africa. Some people never really labeled the emperor as a revolutionary, but Kennedy is telling you that there's no revolution, you know, that can be compared to that which we saw not only in Africa, but even in Asia, you know, and he gave the number of countries that were freed up and gave them the millions of people that were freed up as well. So really, we were looking forward to a United States of Africa. That is really what the world expected. That's what they were seeing. So even on Meet the Press, what's her name there? Miss Frederick, the questions that she were put into Haile Selassie I, you know, and she clearly asked him, well, now with this brand new, you know, freedom in Africa and coming forward, what space does the black man, or what space does the white man and the white woman have in Africa? Do we have to leave? or can we stay? And of course, you know, be subjected on the black man. That was really her question. So just the level of the question would give you an idea of the level of understanding that was happening in that moment, even in that time, clearly showing you that Haile Selassie I and Ethiopia itself was definitely in full authority and bringing together a united, you know, state of Africa in its full glory and in its full sense. So we're very thankful for even that meditation. We see the Honorable Prophet is with us. Give thanks, my Lord. And
bless the love, Honorable. Bless the love, my Lord. Heart I love, my Lord.
Give thanks for the celebration, you know. Selassie, Jah,
Rastafari.
Yes, Honorable. Great joy. Give thanks for the presence with us, you know, even at this moment. I just hear you done a supping on a cup and keeping a celebration, giving thanks for a heart of celebration, giving thanks for African Liberation Day, and giving thanks for, you know, the King of Kings, Haile Selassie I, bringing together all the free states, even in one unity, in the great Africa Hall, to, you know, proclaim freedom and redemption and international, you know, full repatriation, you know, 4 winds universally we're talking about, you know, because this is all scripture when the man say to the north, give up, and to the south, you know, hold that back and call my sons and daughters from the ends of the earth. All of this is the fulfillment of that fulfillment of such scripture. So I give thanks, you know, my Lord, for the eye coming in, and to the audience again, as I said, the Honorable Prophet Jasik with us, the Honorable Prophet Sheldon, come to share a joy with us this evening, and there's several things, you know, I want us to even get into, you know, but of course we're going to be getting into the relevance of the scripture, the Bible, towards Rastafari, and as I said, we're celebrating African Liberation Day. But yes, my King, bless up the people now. I know you'd like to declare something even before we go too far.
Bless the love, man. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Yeah, we do give thanks, man, for the King, the priest, and the prophet, you know. We give thanks for all brothers and sisters. We give thanks for all Lord and Empress, all loved ones in the Black Christ salvation. We give thanks for all brothers and sisters for wings and earth, same way. We give thanks for the blessed celebration moving through. 59 years now, you know. The OAU was formed We give thanks for the establishment to gather black people 4 wings of earth, you know. Yeah, man. Yeah, because you was formed to really strengthen back black people 4 wings of earth same way, you know. Yeah, man. The got racial empire, and a black racial empire, you know. Yeah, man. To get rid of the colonialism and the imperialism, you know. All the teachings of the white world now. So we give thanks for this moment. I give thanks to the platform again, and I have a preside like my Lord. Heart love, honorable.
True God and King. Well, give thanks, you know, it's enough things even happening even in the earth as we speak, you know. I was just saying before I step in there that one of them, a next one went forward and slaughtered some youths there. In some children in Texas, about 14 went down there, and a teacher, you know, I don't really know the full detail of it. I don't even know how many people know the full detail of it really, but that's really what's taking place up there. Yeah, man, just a dread time that we are in, you know. But Rastafari, you know, is the Bible I want to get into tonight, you know. That's where we want to, because, you know, we can gather in the temple on Sunday, and the good brethren that I interviewed a few nights ago, he will be with us again, you know. Also, Brother Hebrew, but I was saying Hebrew. And, you know, we really want to have a real, you know, upful reasoning, especially when we gather together in the Tiger's Temple, and the fullness of the Bible and the importance of it to ionize Rastafari. But actually, before we go there, you know, I want to reason a bit on the Emperor and African Liberation Day, you know. Just even if it's short, it's just up to the eye. But what the African Liberation Day would mean to the eye, what value you put to it, and, you know, even for the audience, what would you share as it relates to African Liberation Day, as it relates to yourself, my Lord?
Honorable, bless the love, my Lord. Well, you know, African Liberation Day, you know, well, after the white man say they're partially free, after emancipation coming down there from in the 60s, there, you know, come and see, well, you know, all African countries eventually come and get emancipated, you know. So for me, was emancipated now, as free man, free woman, we were supposed to try and do our own thing. But we see it was a partial freedom same way. So you come and see it was a setup same way. So the colonial masters wasn't really real, they wasn't sincere. The colonial masters wasn't really sincere, you know. They still a free way, but it still wasn't free. You know, so we give thanks the king come and establish the OAU same way to build up the Black Empire and get rid of the white man teaching, because they teaching were holding me down for years. You know, to the slavery and these things, they come and see the white man, the live of Africa, and the oppress and I within, you know, for them existence, and, you know, for them to survive, they oppress the black nation same with them, you know. So we give thanks for the king come and establish this way, you know, this Liberation Day. For black man to know, well, you know, we have a home to return to. Because it depends upon the existence and upon the children. This is the life we're talking about. So as a black nation now, we have to come together under this common goal. You know, and get rid of the teachings of the white race. Because since slavery to now, my Lord, they come and see white West. They say they release the shackle and chain. We work without pay. They come and give away emancipation. We work for petty wages, all these things, you know. They come and give away they say independence. And it never worked for we. It never worked, my Lord. So we look at leadership of we own. You know, so we give thanks. Even John Marcus pointed to the Black Christ. We true leadership in this time here. And leadership of we own. We can build our own self, economically, industrially, spiritually, you know, the full works. The Black Empire to bring back the Black Empire. So as man now, who moving through on this African liberation time and now, is ready to awaken the Black nation, the brothers and sisters out there, to make them know the importance of Africa. It's a continent. We couldn't give you a continent for island, my lord. So, you know, so we really agitating for your brothers and sisters to awaken and see through the black spectacles the homeland, Ethiopia, Africa, and this liberation time in right now. As a man in Trinidad and Tobago, yeah, I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago, yeah, and I see from in the 80s, 90s, growing up as a youth man, Liberation Day was a celebration on the calendar, 25th of May. After 99 or 2001, 2002, they come and take it off the calendar, my lord, because they come and form the AU. That now, they come and take away black man, you know, an important day for we, my lord. So we give thanks to come on the platform and revive it back. The big black man know we entitled to Africa and been begging for this. This is something where it's due unto I, you know, but we had to awaken and see the purpose. Use we will and accomplish the goal, my lord. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie,
Rastafari. Yeah, man, because what you said there is true, you know, because the whole thing of the AU, the reason why it's called the African Union is because it's modeled off of the European Union, you know, which that's not the model that the emperor did lay down for I. And how interesting, you know, because well, although it's not union, but union and unity have a oneness. But hear this now. If you notice, the word Africa still in it, union or unity in a sense still in it, but the word organization come out. So now, like chickens without head, because we're not organized. We're talking about unity in Africa, but we're not organized. It's a word they take out and change the whole thing. Eh? So what you said, you know, because there was an organized celebration every year, you know, and even the little time I spend in Trinidad, I see a little culture there, you know, the Emancipation Day. I think it's the same time the African Liberation Day too, where they will come out, all the prime minister and so would come out and give a little speech and have on the African clothes. The same at that time, the sister was the prime minister, the Indian lady, Kamala, not Kamala, what was her name?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Kamala, Bessasa Kamala.
You're right.
Yeah,
right. And she had an African dandan, and I know she's of an Indian sense. So you could see how serious the African thing was in Trinidad, and that maybe that's 11 years ago or so. So I see what you're saying there, man, and that's very important. So even now, because we say in African Liberation Day, but you know what they're calling it around here? It's not around here. It's Africa Day name now. You know? If you check it good, they changed the name from African Liberation Day to Africa Day.
Sabotage.
Sabotage. Let me say right. Yeah, man, that's the right word. Trying to well, no, man, you hit it right on the head. I was going to say water it down, but sabotage sounds more like the right vibration. Exactly. You know? Yeah, man. So give thanks for that word sound, as I said, yeah, African Liberation Day, even at this time. And again, you know, and that's the next thing. They try their best to keep the emperor out of it too. You know, I don't know how on earth you can do that, you know. When you can talk about African Liberation Day and nobody hear the emperor name called. You know what I mean? And just totally overlook the King of Kings. But anyway, as I said, this is why we are here to, you know, revive it. And before we go too deep in the subject tonight, now, since I was glad when you said when you were younger, you would have heard this and that, you know, because I was to ask you, you know, give us a little bit, if you don't want to go too deep, about the itself, even coming into the whole vibration. And let me ask, even before you say, would have been around Bobo Kichi, isn't it?
That shall, my lord.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to say the wrong thing, but he would have made a little transition not too long ago.
True, my lord.
Okay, true, my lord. Right. True, man. So even though, you know, even that, because I know it's a mystic thing, because I spent a day with him.
Not sure.
You know, me, yeah, man, he even followed me, go back up the camp, and man was happy to see him, eh? Because he carried me back up, because, you know, well, you know the vibes. And for those who may not know, Elder Kichi is I would say a leader amongst Bobo Shanti in Trinidad, and he got a specific spirit where certain ones would come around him as Bobo Shanti. There's a little difference between the different camps. So as I said, I spent a moment with him. I don't even know if I was there when I went there. They had a little reason at the camp.
I was in camp them time, but I wasn't there that moment when you come through.
Okay, true.
Yeah,
right. But anyway, give us a little idea of who the king is, eh?
Not sure.
And about thyself too, and coming into this maybe, and anything you think you would like to share before we go into the actual reasoning, so the people know a little more.
Yeah, my Lord, bless the love. But you know, growing up now, you come and leave high school, 16, 17, and from that time and then now, well, it lost out in the world still,
Yeah.
And growing up in the ghettos, it was terrible. It was a time of decision, same way. Because there are times where, as a youth man, under certain family dependence and things, it come like a virgin, a man going like try and seek out certain things for yourself. After early school, with the family, it come like you're on your own now, to a level where you have to try and bring something to the table same way.
Right.
So, but in them time, was tough time same way too, Time to a point where, you might feel that even going to do the wrong thing, might feel going to rob, thief, all these things, because the tribulation was tough same way still, But I give thanks for the call and the Black Christ, my Lord. Yeah, my Lord, the Black Christ, As a youth man growing up and thing, my family, one to them was Seventh Adventist same way. So, and then nobody Sabbath same way. So when I come and hear about the Black Christ now in Jamaica, at them time, I wonder, I say, in Jamaica, Jack, and the whole world know about the Black Christ, Jack, because the man right in Jamaica there. So I say, but, so let's hear any words.
Wait. This is before you cite up, not sorry to jump in, but I just want to get it. This is before you cite up the emperor. I just, I say just go straight to the Black Christ. I know a certain man will see the emperor first, obviously.
Okay. Well, I didn't know the emperor same way, but it's already
sure.
Black Christ already movement, my Lord. It's already Black Christ already. It's already movement in this order, my Lord. When I come and hear about the Black Christ, because always knowing to myself, it's about Christ, but I know to myself since growing up, John Rosen, and I know to myself, Christ black enough. So when I come and hear about the Black Christ in flesh, and he right in Jamaica, that what gave me the zeal now to start to really seek Rastafari. I got to over this thing, CJ, man. Rastas plus 2 concerning Sabbath too. When the brethren tell me, well, we skip Sabbath too, I get to over this thing is a serious thing. This is a godly thing, because even that 7 days, my family and them, not really me still, but my family and them, my aunts and them, they always grew up in the 7 days, the Sabbath flow now. Even though they don't hold it the right way, but they hold it, they acknowledge the day, the 7-day worship,
Yes,
so when I come and hear Bobo Shanti, I keep the 7-day worship. My Lord, I tell you, my Lord, from there, my Lord, it was forward time, my Lord. From there, I just forward into it, my Lord. Just to seek out the thing, my Lord. And well, in Trinidad, we tell about 3 camp them time, they still.
3 camp. And that's the mistake, Trini and 3, eh? But good.
Natural. It's about 3 camps in Trinidad them time, they, my Lord. Wolf Chase, Tunapuna by the Honorable Shanti, and Gonzalez by Honorable Kichi same way,
Yes, sir.
The Virgin gave me the word now was from by Kichi same way. So I gravitated to that camp same way, my Lord. From, as early as 1996. I met a Virgin 95 who was from the camp, and well, that Virgin, give me enough milk, he shanked me up. About a whole year before I went up to the camp. So I got my dread everything already, enough spring thing, and holy Sabbath flow, everything, And after a year, we ran with the Virgin, I went up to the camp, and from that time, to now, I just keep trying Rastafari, my Lord.
Yes, my Lord.
Sometime that was about now 18, 19 days still, I didn't get real time to do certain things out in Babylon still, because she really called me early too, my Lord. So I give thanks for the calling still in this order, my Lord, Yeah, King, priest, and prophet, the true God in flesh. the only year praying God, you know. God for Abraham and Jacob, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie.
Yeah.
Rastafari.
So how do you think, because I remember when I was there at that time, you know, the brethren, them at Wharf Trees was telling him, you know, me and everything blessed, man, just bring the brethren them up and let's recrown everyone again and we just go through. You know, that ever happened? Anything?
Well,
the brethren, they were concerned, you know, about certain way how maybe the king would have carry out the ceremony and the other, and, you know, different things.
That's right. But what I was say still, you know, well, you see, just how the brethren now, they're not the kitchen now, they come and get the word now. It don't make them try to tell us same way, but really and truly, man was saying crazy talent still, you know. Man was saying crazy talent still because, you know, Jack called the brethren and, you know, well, the brethren now come and got a letter from Prince Emmanuel in 1984.
I read the letter, you show me the letter, everything.
Yeah, the brethren never write Prince Emmanuel first. Prince Emmanuel write the man a letter, bless him with the name, and everybody kitchen, everything, you know. Yeah, Jah bless him with the name, everything. Now we come in kitchen. You know, meaning God's creation still, you know. Jah bless the brethren, let me well try and make it to the Father's feet. Jah talk to him and he and Jah communicate enough letters and thing, you know. Jah even let him well continue the gathering same way, the gathering. And he go see all things fulfilled in Rastafari. You know? And well, before I came, now, I come and hear the testimony from the elders still and from himself. We let you know, well, you know, he write him and let him know well, how the church was functioning in Trinidad and Tobago, and you know, he write back and let him and know the truth. And just the truth that which God had now, one of the brethren in God who was dealing with the letters, see the letter, and you know, it even created a little scene where, you know, for talking the truth now, certain man named the call and thing, and the brethren even inform certain brethren in Trinidad and Tobago who named the call in the letter. So they even come back, they even try to even come by kitchen also to try to do my thing, seizure. Well, they couldn't really proceed still, you know. Well, the brethren even write King Man and let them know well how them brethren move still and they come and get warning from the Black Christ same way, they'll go 100 yards by kitchen. So, you know, so why pick up before I come in the camp now, like it's a little difference between them and them. And before I even come to the camp, you know? Like, because that take before I even reach them. So it's a little differences between them and them. But it had enough brethren up in the camp from Australia, so it be still linking, communicating with the Honorable Kichi same way. You know, it had certain times in 2003, the camp went up Wall Street 3 times in that street was to bring a oneness. But it never really worked out.
That sounds good.
Yeah, man. But
did it never work out?
Nah, it didn't really work out, you know. So just to that now, everyone country doing their own thing still, you know. But really and truly, my Lord, you know, as a man seeking, then, you know, the kingdom of Christ, you know, when Jah give you a talent, same way, you know, we are to increase it same way, you know. Yes, so if you give a man 5, you know you are the responsibility to really increase that 5. If you give 1, give thanks for 1, because you know the ability. You know, give 5 if you know you can't do 5. You give 1 still at first. And if you can handle that 1, you know, you're going to increase it still, that's natural. But we have to keep going forward, my Lord, from lowland to highland. If we stay stagnant, you find it could cause destruction, you know? My Lord.
That's it. Well, give thanks, King. So, your thoughts on the shooting in Texas there before we go on? All things we thought, you know, I just turn on the tube and see 14 smash. I don't know if you get the news.
No, I get it.
Oh, you get it? Okay. Maybe I should All right, but that's what's going on in the world, you know. A youth man walk into a school in Texas with a rifle and a gun. The man say just shot his grandmother before he go there. They don't give no race or no identity yet, at least when I was watching it. You know, they take a while before they explain all of that. But soon that will come out too. But whoever he is, I don't vibes is, you know, anyway, I'm gonna say it, but I would believe if it was one of I really don't know. But anyway, he walk in, and, I mean, let's wait and see. Huh? He walk in and they say he killed 14 children, you know, big people he killed, 14 little people. And a teacher. And the police must have killed him too, they say. So we just wait and see. But what do you think going on? What's your meditation on all these things? Of course, you know what happened in Buffalo a week and a half ago. When we know for sure that was a white boy going and killing 10 black people. What were your vibes? How you look at that?
Well, you know, my Lord, that's not the same way, you know, the signs are the time same way.
Yeah.
Why is he going to say same way? Because these things come like unprecedented things, you know?
Yeah, because hold on, the news was saying that this is the 212th mass shooting for the year in the US. I must say, wait, but we done gone 212 days in the year. And you don't have more. So that's several of them a day then. Yes, King, go ahead.
Yeah, my Lord, you know, well, these things unprecedented, you know, things were come like new, strange things in this time. 14 perilous time, my Lord, but you know the judgment set, my Lord, so you know. So it come like, as the Bible say, it's no pity upon the old, the young, even the child that who's sucking the breast. The judgment upon everyone right now, my Lord. So these things are happening there right now, my Lord, you know, well, you know.
But you know,
prophecy same way.
I just see someone saying, Ras Gay is saying it's 21 people dead now. But wait, somebody else saying, Kareem Holder saying is 23 deaths. So gone in the 20s, Ras. It's more than 14. But anyway, you don't see the news yet. So sooner or later, it will come to you. Wow. But anyway, as I say, you know, just understanding the history and the prophecy. I give thanks, you know, to the mighty chat. And of course, we have the honorable Just Seek with us. And we are definitely taking this to a next level. But yeah, my Lord, the Bible is a big topic, Rastafari.
I know.
You know, many ones, and I have to, you know, I have to be Angel's advocate here tonight. So now, yeah. So no, real thing, but they no. So the Bible now, especially as Rastafari, it's Rastafari we're talking about. You know, a man will tell you, well, yeah, man, they understand what the emperor say and different things. One's clearly say that, you know, listen, the emperor was a Christian, the emperor had to say this, you know, and this is the tradition, as he says, from a youth. He was learned to appreciate and love the Bible. And ones might say that because to them they find too much evidence that, hey, listen, this is more detrimental than positive. So detrimental that, man, the emperor, the only reason the emperor said that, and then find a reason why. So we can say that, listen, man, I know the king said that, you know, but trust me, man, when you look at the Bible, man, you know what I mean, too many contradictions and too many superstitions, and you dabble with too much, could have different reasons, and, you know. So what's your take on the Bible? You know, maybe as an introduction before we get into the reasoning, and inviting anyone in the audience to ask any question, you know, relating to the subject here.
That's right.
Rastafari.
Well, as I say, you know, the Bible, then, you know, well, from my youthful days to now, that the only book on the Holy Bible. You know, the Holy Bible, you know. So when I say the Bible, I say the Holy Bible still, you know. You know, well, it comes like a manual, we guide, you know. You know, we come into this world and, you know, it's a book there for we to know how to live. You know, the manual, the Holy Bible, you know. Your bar stove or washing machine, you get a manual how to control, how to guide a machine, how to control, how to, you know, how to use it. So you won't damage it, you guide directions, all these things, you know. So when we come into this world now, the Holy Bible, therefore we know as a guide, a book of instructions, for we to turn on the right path. If you neglect the Bible and the great message, you come like you could be on the wrong path. And you're going to yourself to blame. So we give thanks for the Holy Bible, you know, in this time here, because no matter what version it is, it remains one the same. You see, they try to tamper with the Bible and these things, but the truth remains. Just make sure and preserve the Bible through the ages, my Lord. That was the power of God, to preserve the Holy Scriptures through the ages. So even in these last days, you know, it can reach on. So, you know, so you come and see the power behind the Holy Bible same way, my Lord. But that the word of God, my Lord. That the word, in the beginning was the word, and the word is God. So you try to tamper God, but that's natural. But the word is God, that's natural. So to fight against the Bible, fight against God, my Lord. You know? Right. All them would pick out and add in and these things, while they can't escape same way. But we know enough people in the world today don't really accept the Bible because they watch it like from a white man perspective. It come like the white man give the Bible, That's what they say still, they give you that. But what people don't know now, the Holy Bible now is black man history. That is the black man history, my Lord. That will be history book. So from your black man now, you're supposed to endorse the Holy Bible because it's sure about I and I same way. The black Christ, all the prophets were black. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is a black thing in general, my Lord. So we have to really and truly attain to the Bible for its great message. But all the Bible and hope for salvation, all these things. I had the whole speech what his Imperial Majesty made on the Bible. But someday in the Tiger Temple, I go still unfold that whole speech, my Lord.
Yes,
yeah, my Lord. Yeah, my Lord, But we Ethiopia the oldest book in the Bible, only half of the speech same way. But I had the whole speech.
True, I get Okay, yeah, right.
So when you come and hear the king talk about the Bible, my Lord, it's infinite, my Lord. To go wrong that, it come like, man know thyself, my Lord. Man know thyself. Yeah, my Lord. So, yes, my Lord. Reason, my Lord. Reason.
Yeah, man. Save that one for Sunday, man. I appreciate love that one there. But all right, but okay. So yeah, okay. You definitely, So you have the Bible as the key book. So when one not necessarily fighting it, but they will say, okay, brethren, yeah, but I mean, we have other books that older than the Bible, that precede the Bible, books of great wisdom as well too. Ancient books, not even before books, ancient scrolls, even before scrolls, ancient writings etched on the wall. So how is it we're gonna, even limit ourselves, even if you're not limiting yourself, but putting that to the forefront and above all them other kind of ancient writings that we have. What do you think about that?
Well, you see the truth now, it have enough knowledge, enough history. But the truth will lead into salvation now. It's our man that supposed to really attend on to fully, So it have enough scrolls, enough things, but I want to say it's really relevant because it's history. So knowing things is important same way. But it's not like a man praying over the Bible same way, or like praying the Bible over these things, but the Bible is the great book, my Lord. As Marcus Garvey come and teach and I as a black nation, to show you well, Marcus Garvey come and teach you the greatest wisdom to be found in this time, in this age, is written in the Holy Bible, my Lord. Greatest wisdom to be found in this age is written in the Holy Bible. Marcus Garvey teach you that, my Lord. So, despite these other scrolls and these other books and things, my Lord, nothing wrong with these books, my Lord, but you see the greatest book, my Lord, in this time here, my Lord. I feel as a wise man, you will attain to wise counsels. And not say when you read other knowledge, that's natural, but the Holy Bible, my Lord. Yeah, my Lord. Yeah, because it's for salvation, my Lord. It's eternal. That's the only book where it's eternal, my Lord. Even when man reach the Holy Land, or as I would say, Zion or paradise, or these things, we still live by law and commandments, my Lord. We still live within our order and our principle, my Lord. So we're just practicing it right now for when we leave to go and live holy with the king, priest, and prophet same way. So the Bible is the guide for you, my Lord. That's why the Black Christ gave you the Bible and the hymn book same way, He gave you the right tools, my Lord. But man sort of many inventions same way, And plenty of these brothers now will be talking about the Bible now. If we ask them a question now, like, which part of the Bible contradict, like you ask them a question now, like, because they're talking about certain things about the Bible and this thing. But when you ask them now, most of them brothers carry telling that, no, my Lord. It's a more hearsay what they hear over the years, and it become a slang in the ears. So when they see they're going to tell you, my Lord, the Bible. But if you ask them, my Lord, most of these brothers, my Lord, trust me, they can't really explain themselves, my Lord. So that's the idea.
Let me just give a question I have here. Let me give a statement first. Hold on. Farai Nunez, pardon me, says the Bible is not to be taken literal. As I grew up in JW house, what's that? Oh, I believe that's Jehovah Witness house. It is very dangerous for children. That's what he says there. And then I have a question here from King Energy, King 3 Energy, King Energy. He says here, question, how can the Bible be Black man history when Black man origins reside in Kemet? That's a question, and Kemet predates the Bible. That's a question. I don't know if in a sense you answered that. What do you think of that question?
Black man origin begin in Ethiopia, my lord. Ethiopia, you know.
Well,
even the Egyptians are Black people same way too, you know. Egyptians are Black people same way, my lord. So you come and say it's still a Black history book, my lord. Egyptians were Black people in them time, my lord. You know, but it really began in the highlands, my lord. Ethiopia, my lord. You know?
Of course, yes, yes. Rastafari. You're right, okay. But now, you know, we have a thing as Bobo Shanti. When I check it now, we have a thing as Bobo Shanti where we say King Emmanuel said that when we're going up the river Nile, we're supposed to dash the Bible away, or we will throw the Bible away. I'm sure I would have heard of that. So if we go throw that away, that means every other writing word you're throwing away too. If you know, I'm taking it from how you push it, because I said some key words there. As I said, the only, and this one is the best, and none other can compare. So I said, what? So if you go through with that, that means everything else, all them, even what on the walls and so we have to throw away. I just asking in comparison to the light to shine, not just to the Bible, but as they say, the Holy Bible.
Gotcha. Well, you know, when we got the river Nile now, you know.
Right.
I'm saying getting ready Bible same way. You see them time there, my lord, that when we become the Bible now, my lord. We become the Bible them time, you know, my lord. So it come like we really need a literal Bible anymore. You know? Highland we go in there now, you know, we become the Bible now. Just a repetition over the years, holding the strength. It come like we become the Bible now. It come like automatic for me now, you know. It come like we really need the book anymore. Because we'll come to that one understanding, and you know, in them time they just show it to when we cross to even pre-fry with 7 times 7 too, you know. So there's imperfection what we taken back upon and I same way too. So you know, so it come like you know, man, we more godly inclined same way. So we really need a literal book because we and a book will become the book. That's natural, you know. So that right now we really need the book anymore, literally. But naturally, we will become the book because in order to say when we go down, we go and kill and we go and steal and we go and rob, become like we need the book, we need like to hold these laws anymore. Nah, we holding these laws the same way. You know? Them things and them on these walls now and these things now, we see the strength of these things now, we come and see it inform the Bible too. So in history, what's taken off of the walls, them things form in the Bible. So that was showing now we will become the Bible. So when the Bible does show now, we come like things on the wall, what in the Bible right now, all these things. We become the Bible now. We really need no literal book in them time that again, my Lord. Because them time they know, you know, it's a new heaven, new earth, same way too, no, my Lord. You know, it's time of blessings and all these things for and I same way, you know, the righteous, you know. Yeah, man, John 4 for talking elected saints, you know. Shall promise you that same way, a life eternal, you know, without death. Without the Black Christ coming still, you know. So we give thanks for the Holy Bible still, you know, but not so like we dash out the Bible and its principles. No. We dash out the Bible as the man say when God Brother Jordan, because, you know, we become the Bible now in that way then. That's how I see it still, my Lord.
Yeah, and of course, family in the chat, you know, as I said, any questions that you think you want to put to either even I or the King, you know, still feel free as well, you know. Very important. Now this is, let me just read this here. It is frequency healing. it says here, the Vedas predate, it says the Vedas predate the Bible as well. How can it be the one true book when the Vedas were were in existence, I believe, were in existence long before the creation of the Bible. And Lord Shiva is depicted with locks. Okay, just reading what came up there. The Vedas predate the Bible as well. Okay, all right, yeah. So and how can it be the one true book when the Vedas were in existence long before the creation of the Bible, and Lord Shiva is depicted with locks? Well, I don't know. Well, let me give a little answer to that too, because it's still, and I don't know if DI was saying that. I think it's more addressed to you, but let me say, I don't know if DI was saying it's the one true, but you definitely, to me, definitely saying, well, out of anything else that you have, this is the safest guiding light. I know for sure I'm getting that from DI. And it's saying Lord Shiva was depicted with locks. Well, as I said, even more, you see, to me, writing, nature itself is a book, eh? Nature is a book. Even them rock formations, man, we talk. The stars, the stars is a book, eh? The heavens is a book by itself, eh? That's the original book. All them other books you see down here. That's why you can compare even what take the heavens declare the glory of God. This is me now, me speaking still, personally. So I see that there are many different books. It's just that if you are literate to read that book, scroll, manuscript. A scroll is not a book, and a book is really cover to cover book. That's really what a book is. A scroll is, we know what a scroll is. And then the glyph on the wall is something, but all of them is writings. So the heaven is its own scroll too. You understand? So to me, there are many ancient books that have the ancient wisdom inside of them. I see the Bible as being one of them specifically. As I said, there are other ancient writings where you see even the scriptures of the Bible would have borrowed from or taken from to make that collaboration. But I don't see, because a lot of ones will look at that as plagiarized or stolen from, which I don't see it, because I see, if you were listening to them reasoning, even in the temple past, clearly my argument is that the Bible is an African book. I know even a good brother I had previous time, Brother Harry, was saying he thinks it's a European book. But I mean, the Bible was born in Africa, according to history. The Ethiopian Bible itself, because to me, I have the Ethiopian Bible on a totally different level. Even when you look inside of the Ethiopian Bibles, it's all pictures and colors. It's like glyph appeared, and regular Bible is just words. And when it's pictures, it's Michelangelo and his family. So the Ethiopian writing has a totally different level. As I said, them fellas kept out the book of Enoch because the book of Enoch was written in an older language than Hebrew. So I have a different idea of it, really. But I do definitely see that I really see the Bible being one of the ancient writings, even in the modern time, the words of Haile Selassie I, the autobiography of Haile Selassie I, part 1 and part 2, them book they rank up higher. Them, the philosophy of Marcus Garvey, they may not be hieroglyphic and meadow netter and all them science, but is the word of God, Yes, but no, man, give thanks. Yeah, got you.
Yeah, man. Well, I know the guide now, we guide, unto salvation, same way, Yeah, man, we give thanks for the Holy Bible, same way. But the brethren now, you see, it's a black thing in general, the same way, Shiva and these things, all them come and learn from the black same way still, because it's really, as you come and learn, it's one people really praise God from creation to now. Really, you know, all that Moses, you know. Moses now get commandments now for Israel, you know. And
Yes,
these other nations now was praising wood and stone. You know, they wasn't really praising the true and living God, the I am, the I am. And you know, and as black people now, you know, Israelites, a portion of black people then, you know, we hold on to the some like the Lord Moses same way. And that was the right teaching in them time, you know. They really keep me. Them other nation them now, you know, they come and learn from me same way. We teach them, you know, but we God same way, and they know what we God too. You know, but them still, you know, in this time they come and see everyone holds to the God same way too. But they see the God through their own spectacle the same way. But we give thanks the black God come again still, you know. And you know, the same time Moses in this time, you know, to redeem man again too, you know, to carry again, you know, out of this Egypt land here in the west, you know, forward to be home same way, you know. So we give thanks, you know, for the Holy Bible same way, because the prophecy was fulfilling. Jehovah's.
Rastafari. Of course. Let me just read a few comments here quickly. Guyana Itelved, give thanks, brethren. He was in I don't think he was in the temple previous Sunday, I wasn't even sure. But definitely he was in the temple before that. A lot of people ain't rise for say, wait. A lot of people ain't rise for say throw away the Bible. Every soul on this journey at specific time. Okay, not fully getting it. Sus Princess says origins are in Ethiopia. The land of God originated in Ethiopia. Egyptian priests and gods would go back to Ethiopia every year to regain their powers. Hearts, Rastafari, enough lightning. And Ashanti Junglite says, the one true word unto salvation. I believe that is the Bible they're highlighting. And Black Mills says, Exerbeer, Haile Selassie Jah Rastafari. David Williams saying, Rastafari. Okay, all right, yeah, man, give thanks. Yeah, my Lord. Give thanks, you know, is meditation. So if one now was to back to being angel's advocate here. So if one was to come and show you that, listen, all right, I find the Bible very patriotic. The Bible, number one, God is a man. No space for no woman in the Bible. The Bible even clearly says, let the woman learn in silence, suffer not the woman to teach. You know, ones would even argue. Ones would even argue with the commandments there when he says, you know, you should not covet your neighbor's house, ask his wife. Man says, so how do I come line up with them things there? So she's the possession. So when he says thou shalt not, it's like it's a man he talking to, not a woman, you know. And a few other things. I know we know them. You have to know them still. That ones would use and say, man, look here, man, you see how the Bible dealing with women. Lot wanted to give his daughters to the sodomites outside to cool them down from the angels. What do you think about? What would you tell someone if they was to ask you them kind of things? Or put that.
When you read the Holy Bible, and you know, from Genesis to Revelation, you come and see that many great women pass through, my Lord. Many great women, you know. Yeah, my Lord, you know. So all them great women, them in the Bible same way. Even Sarah, Abraham, when Abraham and all, when Sarah talked to Abraham, you know, he even himself study, well, you know, when she tell him, well, get rid of the handmaid Hagar, like he didn't want to do it, you know. And Jack come and let him know, Abraham, take into the voice of your wife, my Lord. So you come and see she had good counsel the same way. She didn't conquer Father Abraham. So you come and see, you glorify the woman of creation, my Lord. You know, because it's woman, my Lord. You know, they come from man, same way as the shade scripturally. And my Lord, that we equal, my Lord. Two become one. So we glorify the woman and my Lord. If you love a woman, you can love yourself. Because no man ever gets filthy flesh. Because she's part of the same way. So we're going to glorify the woman, my Lord. Yeah, my Lord. You know, in Sodom and Gomorrah, you know, well, it was Sodomites. These guys and them neglect females, that, you know, down in Sodom and Gomorrah. Because the man had 2 virgins and they didn't want them, my Lord. Like these guys didn't like, you know, these guys was square, weird guys, my Lord, weird. You know, so it's terrible, my Lord. And these guys come again in these last days, same way, because nothing new on this one, you know. And I'm showing this time, you know, the rulers of Sodom, the rulers of darkness. So it's more better right now, my Lord, you know. It's more better right now. So you come and see enough men hate women, even in these last days, my Lord, it never changed, you know. But that more kind of European perspective, you know, where they say like a woman wasn't really equivalent to a man, you know. They only had she there to carry the lineage, you know. All these histories, all these things, you know. But as a black man, you know, yeah, we cherish woman, them, man, you know. But you know, concerning certain things to the Bible, again, to my Lord, you know, it transcends all boundaries of all race. So you see now, Chinese, India, no matter which part of the globe is, you know, from our Holy Bible, then it can really lead to salvation, my Lord. It can lead to the Black Christ same way. Because all these facts about Christ, black, all them things in the Holy Bible, same way, my Lord. You know, just seek it out. You know, because all the truth is there. So the Bible is really a guide same way, you know, unto salvation, same way in these last days. You know, we give thanks for all good books, my Lord, all good books. You know, but we give thanks for the Holy Bible same way, you know. Yeah, my Lord.
Yeah, no problem. Let me just read a few things here, you know. Let me tell you them, this family don't feel away. Look like a skipping, that's skipping it. There's time and some ones that kind of hard to get the fullness of what. So Justin Joseph is saying now, tell them Christ's greatest followers were women, woman, yeah. Woman. Tell them Christ's greatest followers were women, that's for sure. And even let me say on that one now, it's how you read the book too, you know. I know one will say it's how you read the book. You know, certain things we say the Bible said, now the Bible said, you know, Sunday school teacher said a lot of things. Like the Bible said the world was 6,000 years old. The Bible never said that. That's because people say that, you know what I mean, and all of that. But even in the Proverbs, is Proverbs Ecclesiastic, one of them books, talk about wisdom. And she was there before creation with the God. I can't quote it exactly, but I know you have to know what I'm talking about. So
in
wisdom.
Proverbs chapter 8, that's right. Proverbs chapter 8, my Lord.
Yes, give me a little quote from it, you know. That part there we talk about wisdom. Show that he's a woman, and she was there from the beginning. I don't know if you don't have it at hand.
Yeah, my Lord.
I can find that here online too.
Yeah, my Lord. I have it here, my Lord.
Okay, true, yes. Rastafari. Come in there, chat. I'm gonna read everything there quick. Go through. My Lord, take it.
My Lord. Chapter 8, verse. I read from verse 23, my Lord. Selassie, Rastafari. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, wherever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no foundations, no fountains abounding with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set the compass upon the face of the depth, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree, then the water should not pass his commandment. When he appointed the foundations of the earth, then I was by him, as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth. My delights were with the sons of men. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. For whoso findeth me, findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. Holy Emmanuel, I. Selassie, yeah. Rastafari. Last verse, my Lord. But he that sinneth against me, wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me, love that. Sure. Rastafari. Yeah, my
yes,
Lord.
my Lord. Give thanks, and just for the audience, that is talking about wisdom. The woman, wisdom, Let me ask, I come into the chat, there's so much there, but I just want to, so how I would look at now, okay, me personally again, I talking for myself. I just like to let you know when I talking for myself and when I just kind of question it. But for me now I am a high respect of African tradition.
Gotcha.
Yoruba, them kind of scene. You don't hear me talk about them things. I love them things.
Gotcha.
I just love African culture. Me now. Enough things I say I would never even begin to do it.
Sure.
People see me and tell me I look like a Maasai. Most Maasai now is a tradition. They drink the cow blood and the cow milk. They have certain places in Africa when you go and you go meet chief and so you have to drink a fresh bowl of milk. If you tell them man no, the man have that like you slap them in the face. So
that's right.
Even the sisters them that stretch their neck and do the lip thing and so. I ain't gonna do that for sure. But how do you look at them kind of traditions from Africa? Would you be one that say that them things is paganistic or idol worshiping, especially where you have graven images, a lot of the mask and stuff, sculpture and so. How you look at it? I'm interested to know what your outlook is on them kind of things.
Yeah, my Lord, bless the Lord.
Especially from a biblical outlook, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Good. Rastafari.
Well, my Lord, you see, we living in this time right now, the era we're living in right now, being here. Come and see Revelation time. Revelation time, The signs are time share right now is Revelation time, And time is at hand. And it has something now, where is prophecy fulfilling right now, a few are remaining will be saved. But we are enough brothers and sisters, four wings at earth same way, And due to disobedience now, we will be, and I go carefully help them same way. All who careless at Ethiopian right now will be going on with Babylon. So, but for black people now, it's a one way, my Lord, one true way. For black people, my Lord, four wings at earth. No matter if in Africa, Asia, South America, Central, West Indies, it's one way to the pearly gates, my Lord, like through the black Christ. So the brother in Africa now who I would say still lost under certain realms, we are really teach them back the right thing, my Lord. Africa waits and I too know, my Lord, it's spiritual, Yeah, my Lord. So, if the brothers and sisters same way, but these things, it come like in this civilized time and the whole time rest right now being gay, is a higher height than that, my Lord, Yeah, my Lord, a higher height than that thing, Yeah, my Lord, So we give thanks for the black Christ again, my Lord, Yeah, my Lord, the only way, Yeah, my Lord. How I see it same, my Lord,
Yeah, I definitely can't fight that certain things. I mean, they like sacrifice and certain things I would go for. Well, let me just go through some things here quick here. We have done more. Is asking what is the original Bible to read. Okay, wait, hold on there. Black Millie say take the good and throw away the bad. The scripture is more symbolic than literal. Okay. What do you think about that? You think the Bible is more symbolic? I know King Emmanuel said it's symbolic. Do you think it's more symbolic than literal?
I would say it's a balance, my Lord. But it's not enough things symbolic same way, because a word itself in the Bible might mean nations, people, and tongues. You might see sea, for example, it might mean a literal sea. But at times in the chapter now, when you go decipher that study, when you read the chapter, you go know, well, if it means for sea literally, or You know, it's how we understand it still, you know. But it has things symbolic, nothing symbolic in the Bible, my Lord, nothing literal same way, my Lord. You know? Yeah, my Lord.
I see Wazir Heru Ma'at is in the chat as well. He says, he that lives by the sword shall die by the sword. Then Jesus says, sell your garments to buy a sword. Okay. Okay, I get what you say now. I think he's, and that's brother Heru Ma'at. As I said, family, Sunday for sure. You know, I can send the brethren a link. I don't know if the brethren would like to come in even this evening, you know, we can have a little three-way reasoning before Sunday too, you know. Brother was there, Heruma. If you want the link, I can definitely get the link sent to you. You wouldn't mind that, my brethren? That's not a problem with the eye.
Oh, my Lord. Yes, my let him come through, my Lord. Okay,
if you desire, you know, I can get that link sent to you via the WhatsApp. But I'm gonna kind of say it a different way. He's saying, I believe he's saying the Bible says, he that lives by the sword shall die by the sword. And then he's saying that Christ, I believe, let me just put it this way, Christ tell you to sell your garments and go buy a sword. I think he's saying that that's a contradiction. That's the impression I get in there.
Well, why you go say, my Lord, you know? The Holy Bible, that come like a sword, my Lord. So it's how I interpret it still, you know? Because man can sell the garments, you know, and buy wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, my Lord. You know, the Holy Bible itself come like a sword because it's word, strength, and power. The word, it creates and destroys. The word is sharper than any two-edged sword, you know? Piercing down to the marrow, and down to the joints. So we come and see the Bible itself is a symbolical sword, my Lord. Yeah, my Lord. So it ain't really contradict itself. It just understanding, my Lord, you know? Yeah, my Lord. Yeah.
Positive. Farai Nunez says, I personally believe not everybody should read the Bible because of confusion and misunderstanding. People are damaging their own family because of it. Okay. You think you can elaborate a bit, Farah Nunez, on that one? I would like to know exactly what you mean by, you know, it's confusing and the misunderstanding, and as you say, people are damaging their own family because of it. I'd like to know a little more. And while they may be tied in that, type of that, again, family, as I said, Sunday in the Tigers Temple, we will, I would say, well, we'll be continuing the reason, but I believe it will be on a totally different level too. And those who will be in the temple with us on Sunday for sure, we will, you know, be able to feed your questions directly. It's like all you who comment in here. And as I said, you know, my Lord, if you, brother Heru, if they desire to come in, just let me know, you know. You just type in the chat, yes, you want to come in. Maybe we should just send him the link. I'll ask him personally to just send him the link via the WhatsApp, and then he will choose if he come in or not. Let me just leave it at that, and we can tap down what I want here. But for sure, you know, family, definitely looking forward to all of you coming into the temple. This Sunday's temple, we will eventually air it. And I'll just tell you that still. You will get pieces of it, but sometime in the future. So I know you would like to be there live and direct, family. Just coming, of course, you know, it's just a small contribution to come into the temple. And of course, you can make a contribution. We start at 8 sharp, just like you see us here. You come in on the Zoom link, and we're all there face to face in an atmosphere that we definitely can keep it under control. All right. I trying to figure out this here. Johnny Johnson is saying what? El Paso, Texas, tuned in to Priest Isaac. Give thanks. Myself, as a Toado Oriental African Orthodox Church, here in Texas really feel the devil has did a hell on earth today here in Texas and last week in Buffalo, New York. Yes, yes, John, give thanks, such words. The Bible is in parables. This is keyboard smash. The Bible is in parables. It is also your interpretation at life, whether metaphysical or mystical or physical. And then Johnny Johnson says the Bible is not a book of theology, but rather a book of progressive, positive psychology, energy technologies, a gospel, but still a spell cast by King James Version. Okay. Yeah, a lot of information gone into that one there. All right. Yes, my Lord. Now, you see, I'm keeping up the reasoning, because there's a lot of things that even we as a family now, still we need to know, man. Reasoning is better than preaching.
That's right.
And I want to ask me a question the evening there, and they were asking me now if we are Africans, if we are Africans, and also I think the link is in the chat there too, and the link is in the description below, family, where you can email us, and of course, definitely get your link for Sunday as you come into the Tigers Temple. So the link, everything is in the description below. Yeah, and you could definitely do that. So what I was saying, so yeah, so we're on the Bible and the understanding of the Bible, and I really wanted to kind of go inside of it now, certain how we utilize it and how one would read it, and as one was saying, the misinterpretation of it. So it's a book that needs a lot of training then. I mean, it's not just something you can give somebody. The way I'm getting this thing, with all of this symbolism and creativeness in the writing, is it really correct to just say, hey, man, yeah, man, this is a Bible, you should read this book here, man. And all the answers is inside of that. And once you read that a couple of times, just do what it says and you're all right. Now, you think that would be a little bit dangerous? It sounds to me like that itself need a manual to copy. Okay, no, before you answer now, what I'm saying, even you would admit that, hey, a lot of that book is symbolism. Even balance, and is a big, in a sense, a big book. So now, to just give a person and say, hey, read that. That's like a gun. Hey, you ever use one of this? No? Okay, hold on. Go and see what you can do with that, You might do good, but something else might happen. So I'm just looking at it on that level. But what do you think of that in reality?
Well, within reality, my Lord, you come and see from experience, from history, even when the Ethiopian Enoch was reading, in them time then, when Philip baptized the Ethiopian Enoch, when Philip asked him, you understand what all readers? But he was reading from a script. The Ethiopian Enoch was reading from a script. And why he was reading from his script now, Philip see him and asked him, understand what thou readest? And he said, how can I? Without a guide, without someone to give him the strength. So by getting a Bible, then that's natural, without strength or like without reason, you must give my strength towards the Bible, because I'm not give a Bible that's natural, you're going to read, but you understand certain things. I'm only reading Bible for the first time, or no pick up the Bible to read the Bible. It has certain things they will understand, according to what, yes, they will understand. And that's certain things they won't really understand for real, my Lord. Mm-hmm. So you're going to really need a guide. That's natural, you're going to really need a guide to share certain things. A man of experience who could share, certain key points, and yeah, my Lord, you're going to really need a strength for it. Mm-hmm, but by yourself read it now, you will still get a strength, because it's something more really godly. From reading the words of God, you will get godly inclined. That's natural, because the words go into your brain, you're reading there. You focus on the words, so that's naturally, it will do something for you. You might get the fullness of things, but you will get strength. You can come and ask a question now, and from there you get more strength and you increase, So from reading the Bible for the first time and thing, it's a question where you really go ask for in my Lord. But it must read to that clear conscience. That's natural, you know? Yeah, my Lord.
Yeah, before you go, yes, was there here who says to send the link? So I'm gonna ask the Honorable Empress to send that link there on the WhatsApp to Wazir Heru. Wazir Heru Ma'at, just send that link to him for me, please. Zoom link, so he could definitely come in and be a part of I&I, you know? Let me just read something here. Rashal says, some King Emmanuel thing go on now. How King Emmanuel tried to get his words sound out there, and then politicians try to hush him. Natural, Shara that me say. Yeah, that's Hugh Shara for sure. Was one that tried to get in the way. Okay, let me see a couple of things here. All right. Yeah, so let me just, I was asking Farai Nunez what was the mix-up in the family, and they're saying here, again, coming from a Jehovah's Witness family, I have seen how they shun you if you don't believe in their interpretation. Okay, then they say they believe, or I believe, you know, he says they believe all non-Jehovah's Witness will be killed by God in Armageddon, right? And then goes on to say, literally. Yes, a lot of Christians in general do have that sort of mentality there. But what you think about Rastafari and because to some degree, you know, I wouldn't even ask you what you think. Well, you can answer after I say, but you know, it's just understanding. We're not bashing ourselves or even those that went before us, but there's a lot of aspects of Christendom, in a sense, residue that kind of remained with us, even up to now, as Rastafari. You know, some even go as far as Rastafari is a Christian organization, maybe because they read the Bible and they go to church or whatever you want to say, talk about Sabbath and so. But I know these are agency, you know, don't get me wrong. But yet still, when a lot of us making the transition out of that world, we had a lot of baggage. Maybe over the years it fell off as it relates to the Christendom world. So even when we look at Haile Selassie and King Emmanuel, and it's almost like we just paint Jesus different. And it's the same thing. We may call him Jesus and Joshua, but it's the same tenets that go with Jesus, go with him. And this is why I was asking where we draw the line between symbolism and literalism there, because, you know, okay, if you're going to say that Mary, the mother of Christ, was like directly a virgin forever, no man see, touch her. And then because, you know, some of us as Ras, we push that. And then all the tenets of Jesus, he ain't got no woman, he don't have no children, and he was a man that moved without, I want to consider, well, that is, you know, that all of that is just European concepts being thrown at you. So where is that line now? Because you already said, no, we need a teacher. What's going on here? Okay, we need that should be the brethren. We need a guide really to go through it with understanding. And actually, when I see you coming there, like the question gone out, man, really. But and I think it was more statement that make it, because yes, you know, so we as Rastafari, somehow in some ways, we still carry a lot of that Christian energy, a lot of that Christian baggage with us. I don't think it's not to deny. Some of us would freely admit that. It took years for us to say, hey, listen, man, we have to look at this thing a little different than this thing. Let me see if the virgin is in here. Yes, my Lord, you there?
I'm there.
Yes, man. Give thanks for you're coming in, give thanks for stepping in and the vibration. Yes, so family, brother Heru Ma'at was there. Heru Ma'at is with us. Or tap to you, my Lord, give thanks for the stepping in. And as you can see, we are here with, the great Jasik. And we have been reasoning on the whole aspect of the Bible. We have been reasoning on the whole aspect of, the importance of it in Rastafari. I've done several programs, quick programs. Even tonight I did a quick little thing, something out of the Bible, really just to get the mind of the family, in tune. Not a subject I intend to stay on forever, but I decided, listen, let me give this a little season from the last time me and I reasoned, my Lord. I've been somewhat touching upon it. I want to give it a time in our ear so we can come to a proper consensus on this understanding of the Bible in relationship to Rastafari. And that is why different ideas, the chat and so, we want to hear what different people think in a balanced meditation. So give thanks for coming in. All blessings to the eye. I don't know if you want to jump in and add anything from your standpoint, what you're hearing from before.
Yeah, greetings, brethren, and greetings, family from all over the world. Yes, it's quite interesting. When we speak of the Bible and Rastafari, it's a sensitive topic. And, you have to be respectful to people's belief systems. But the real thing, or the kernel of the matter, is that should we let the Bible become a cataract in our flowings back to our source? Should we let the Bible prevent us from learning our true ancient African history, culture, and worldview? We know that in everything we read, in the books we come across, we know, His Majesty also said to take the good and leave the bad. Now with the Bible, we can also do that. Take the good and ignore the things that are anti-African in the Bible. We can do that. We can also put the Bible down for 5 minutes and go research our African history before invaders. Because the Bible did not develop in Africa. It developed on the fringes of Africa under duress from European colonization. And even back at that time in Alexandria, the native Kemetiu or Egyptians did experience racism, especially in Alexandria. Alexandria wasn't a known. Alexandria was a Greek city in Africa. And they brought together all the knowledge in the known world at that time. And still they looked at the Kemetiu after. Now we're not speaking of the ones like Pythagoras, Thales. We're not speaking of those were long before the Ptolemies. And those were the ones who really honored the Kemetiu. But later down, there were Greeks that I either forgot or just ignored the great contribution the ancient Egyptians gave to what was going on in Alexandria. In Alexandria as well, let me see if I can get I marked off a page. So it was a nice read. Because the Jews, who we call the Jews, they were suffering under another Greek general, Antigonus. Antigonus was in charge of that area where they came from. And he was also at war with Ptolemy, because there was a lot of war between the generals. And Ptolemy was like the only one that was really safe, because he did something that a lot of other persons were not doing. He took over somewhere and he didn't change their religion. He didn't force his way of life upon them. So that made Kemet still prosperous. But here it says, all the provinces held by these generals became more or less Greek kingdoms. Yet in no one did so many Greeks settle as in Lower Egypt. Though the rest of Egypt was governed by Egyptian laws and judges, the city of Alexandria was under Macedonian law. It did not form part of the nome of Hermopolis in which it was built. It scarcely formed a part of Egypt, but was a Greek state in its neighborhood, holding the Egyptians in a state of slavery. In that city, no Egyptian could live without feeling himself of a conquered race. He was not admitted to the privileges of Macedonian citizenship, while they were at once granted to every Greek and soon to every Jew who would settle there. So we see the racism now. Some persons would say that the Jews were originally African people.
Right.
But I hold the notion that the originals were not African people. And the African Jews we find now were converts, like the Beta Israel or Falashas were converts, just like the people of Ethiopia were converts when the people of Aksum took on that new religion we call Christianity. And it's also good to know the perception at the time of the early Christians, the perception of how they thought, because they would be answering a lot of questions, because they did much in secret. And there is the exchange between Celsus and Origen. And if you can get that, I think it's in chapter 7, where Origen is speaking of, he's comparing the Bible, or should we call it the Septuagint, he's comparing it with the other classics by Plato and all the philosophers. And he's saying that it is written in the same way, because he's been questioned by a philosopher, that's Celsus. And he's telling Celsus that it is no different than all the Greeks who go to the academies and they can't understand anything, because the secrets of that literature is veiled.
That's the Septuagint.
That's the Septuagint. Also before that, like the poems of Hesiod, Homer, all this is allegorical writings. All these are allegorical writings. Because before the Bible, the hymns of Hesiod, the hymns of Hesiod were the Bible. The Iliad and the Odyssey. Yeah, the Iliad and the Odyssey, that was the Bible.
I mean that. Okay, that
Greek,
was the
for the Greeks.
I guess you're saying that was the book of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when you see the Bible come out, it comes still under a Platonist. That's why when you go into the esoteric of the Bible, you will start to see a lot of sevens talking about the 7 churches, the 7 candlesticks, all having to do with the 7 chakras. the 7 chakra system, you know, and that is ancient Eastern philosophy. So the Bible at the kernel is a Masonic book that speaks about you, about what's going on within you.
Well, I can't deny that, yeah. Right. Let me ask you, you're saying about the first,
For instance,
the early Christians. No, the early Christians. So a lot of the early Christians wasn't black. What about ones like Arius and so that they said, well, it was kept out of the Nicene Council, let's say. Wasn't a lot of the early Christians black?
The first Christians were black people.
Okay, positive. Okay.
Because the fathers of Christianity were all from Carthage, Algeria, you know, Cyprian, all the Tertullian, Augustine. They were all Africans. But this, remember, is under Greek rule.
Oh.
This is under Greek rule.
But wouldn't you say, because although we weren't there, you know, wouldn't you say that since you just put light that the first quote unquote Christians, followers of, you know, the Christ energy were melanated black people there? Wouldn't you believe, just like Rastafari then, it was something that rose up out of the oppression, you know, by a people that was seeking for liberation? Because what you say there is interesting when you say, well, yeah, man, the first Christians definitely were black under Greek rule. But many of our great ones rose up. Well, you know, even us rising up, we are under Greek rule right now. You know,
my lord, not look at the items still, you know?
You're going to make a move.
Not look at the items still, but what I say this still Christianity, right? That didn't begin from Christ. Christianity, where it come from? Not from Christ?
Yeah, the first, yeah, right.
In terms of Christ now, it's Rome was ruling, my lord. Rome had world power in terms of Christ now.
Well, you see, when we speak of Christ, we speak of first of all, the first instance.
All right, reason my lord.
Yeah, the first instance of Christ would be the anointed caress. And that goes way before the notion of the one they call Yeshua or Yeshua. And we do have the story in the Sanhedrin that Yeshua was hung on a tree for sorcery, along with 5 disciples, not 12.
So the Sanhedrin say?
Yeah, in the Sanhedrin.
Yeah, that went over my head totally.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, continue.
So we can see that it was a astrotheological story that was applied to a certain character. And it wasn't, because if we speak of the Christ and we try to look for all what like they call the miracles and all this, these things are written in the heavens. There was no man in history called Jesus Christ who walked on water. All this is part of our astrotheological myth, which had a more, because this is how the church, the papal power came about, by making that Christ story into materialistic, bringing it down to a materialistic level, and then claiming to sit in the seat of Christ while he stepped away, while he flew away, and he would be back again. So they call themselves the vicar of Christ. But it's a materialization of our ancient story. And even St. Augustine was talking about that. That the whole doctrine, or I wouldn't say the entire doctrine, but the origins of that doctrine is found in Africa. So Should we keep holding on to the Bible? Or should we begin opening our minds and starting to learn again from our own literature, which wasn't available, I mean, in the 80s, 90s, that's when information was starting to trickle in. And right now it's flowing in like a river. So should we use the Bible to put up a dam against all that information that's flowing in and just stick to what we've learned from the King James Version of the Bible? And we as, I mean, it's your version on how you see Rastafari. How grand you see Rastafari. If you see Rastafari as a Christian sect, you can see it like that. If you see Rastafari as the liberator of African pre-colonial history and culture, you can see it also like that.
I like how you put up the dam analogy. I like that one. If you're going to use it as a dam to block out all of the knowledge that's coming. No, we can't do that at all. Okay, all right. A lot of things were said there. But on the level of reasoning that the Honorable King. So, you know, can see the lines here, you know, the lines, man. Let's be, in all honesty, the lines. But for example, okay, you hear about the 16 crucified saviors. Now, a lot of us, like, when we first came across that knowledge, our ones would tell you, well, listen, man, Christ is not the first crucified savior because they had 16 crucified saviors. Now, even though you may say the Christ figure is like a myth figure as well, but the general idea of most ones is that this is a literal person 2,000 years ago. But then now when we bring to the table the 16 crucified saviors, these 16 crucified saviors are, we have a consensus that they are all mythological figures. Even the culture that they come from don't really see them as literal in a sense, from my understanding. So Mithras, even Asar, or as they call Osiris, Zeus, which are the other figures were used. And there are more than 16 ones that go through the similar vibration that the Christ would go through. But when I'm saying, King, don't you see that, because I have this understanding that what may be mythological, it doesn't mean that it's not real. So a person may say, Osiris is not real. No, you know that Osiris is not real. Is that the story is not a literal story. But still, the Osiris energy can be capsulated in a human being. Now, the same Osiris, when you see me dodging there, I was actually looking for a book to show you, the book that speaks of the whole theory of Anansi, wherein the science of Anansi is that Anansi lives in everyone. In fact, they have a phrase where they say all stories belong to Anansi. So sometimes the different characteristics that you may have, whether it's good or not too good, or you know, greedy or egotistic, all of these different things, you could see stories of Anansi being cunning. And so according to what the book is saying, the marriage of Anansi, it is showing that Anansi dwells in all of us, and the perfection in his perfective state, that ability is in all of us. I get into a point, and this is also what you would even read the Christ teach in the Bible about the perfection in all of us. So what I'm saying now, I have this outlook that Ma'at then. Ma'at is a woman with the feathers and the wings. She's not a real person as such. She is mythological in a sense. But the energy and the principles that she represents dwells in all man and woman. But I believe in the mathematics of nature, not of coincidence, but in the mathematics of nature and time, because things happen in sequence and times. There's a level of mystics that some of us, we don't even understand yet. But I see in the sequence of time, a female will come amongst us that is ripe like a fruit ready to drop off in the tree with the principle of Ma'at. That's Ma'at in flesh. It's not no one-time thing, you know. Osiris, to me now, Osiris is real, but Osiris is not like no one-time thing. The Osiris principle continue to return in different dispensations of time. So then now we start to deal with the ether and the cosmic. So you may not call him Osiris, but there's a man that come amongst you that is filled, ripe like a soursop ready to drop off the tree, ripe with the spirit and the principle of Osiris. The same thing with the spirit and the principle of the Anubis, you know, the spirit and the principle of Heru. You may not be born, we are all born with it inside of us, you know. But some activate the spirit and the principle of Ogun, of Shango, you know, to the point that you can say, you see this man here, this was Shango return. I believe in that a lot, you know. So that's why I'm saying, where is the line we draw? Because you're saying now, well, yes, it's easy to say no man named Jesus exists. Okay, good, I get that. But don't you think that there would have been a character somewhere in history that would have fit the same principles that they have attributed to the Yeshua Christus, Yeshua the Messiah Mashiach, was there specifically? I don't know if you pick up the science I'm putting down.
Yeah, I know what
crystallization.
Yeah. Well, in ancient Kemet and ancient civilizations, the cosmic powers, which of course were given human and animal qualities, as to relate to those cosmic forces, which are infinite and eternal and immortal. That's why they associated them to be gods and goddesses, but really they are cosmic powers and cosmic forces of the universe, of the cosmos. And then when you come to the levels of Osar or Set, here you come to human psychology. So you have Heru Osar, the great dead king was always referred to as Osar. And the one on the throne was Heru. Okay, so it was like a father-son relationship, a predecessor-successor relationship.
That's just one level of it too. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Now, what Osar did was, when we talk of egalitarianism, Osar represented egalitarianism, not to hide knowledge or to build a great empire by itself, but to spread knowledge all over the world with strangers all over the world. So this is the story of Osar. And when you go also with Jehuti, then you have science and words and Seshat numbers. So you see a whole system of reasoning, the synchronicities we find amongst the products of Nun. And when we synchronize these aspects of Nun, we came up with the science or the epistemology or the whole system we have of divinity. Now, that system is quite different from the system in Christianity. Okay. When Christianity came, because Christianity came and we saw the polarity begin in the world. The division between church and state. The creation of the emperor and the pope. Whereas it was a more united concept of civilization under the Nossos deity, who represented both worlds coming together, like our thinking, which was balanced. So within the coming of this new religion we call Christianity, it was lacking that transcendental science that is beyond any one person being the totality and fullness of the divine.
Right.
And then when we speak of divinity, as we all say, Haile Selassie is divine. But through our African science, we know everything is divine.
Mm-hmm.
So would it be then a question of degrees in divinity? Because
Exactly.
as you know, the
Yes.
world is not absolutes but made of degrees. So would it be His Majesty at a higher degree of divinity? Is it that's what we are saying?
Me personally.
You know?
Because I say Osiris in everyone, you know. But to me, the king turned that up maximum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Osiris in the system of psychology, Osiris would relate to the subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
And the subconscious, as they say, never sleeps. Yeah. And the subconscious picks up everything. So the subconscious is nurtured. And it's nurtured by the conscious mind, which is, of course, Heru, or the will, which is Heru. And then you have Osset.
Yeah.
Osset, which relates to trance and imagination. And so the whole African system is a psychological, cosmological synchronization. But can we say that about Christianity? How do we know where to separate the esoteric from the exoteric?
I like it as you say, separate. But is not everyone choose to marry the Bible with Christianity? That's number one. And then when we tell you Christianity or the Christ order is a bit different than Christendom. But I would like to hear what the prophet have to say. And you said good. Wow. Yeah. I can see when you say we shouldn't make the dam block all this flow of knowledge. But just see, Honorable Prophet.
Yeah, man.
And we can soon seal it still, you know. I know the audience may not want to hear that, but we can seal it still until Sunday, you know. But what do you have to say? Not yet. So
well, that's not true, you know. Well, Christianity, religion, these things, you know, is rules and laws made by men still, you know. But you see, the true follower of Christ, yet, the true way of the Christ, the true winner. You know, you can't mix it up with Christianity same way still, you know, because you come and see now how the world see things in these last days, you know, see Christ now. You come and see the world itself. It have many Christians worldwide. Many Christians worldwide, you know, who look to the Savior, I would say Jesus Christ. The white Jesus Christ, you know. That's what the world gravitate to still, because that's what the world teach. But you come and see now, it has the true Christ, which is the black Christ in flesh. So out of the colonialism now, we come to club back our mind the rightful mind. So it's about clothing back with brothers and sisters in the rightful mind same way, you know, because we was teach it ourselves still, you know, as we come and know in the African history book still, you know. So the Christ was just black natural still, you know. But you see now, that was asked a question before when Christianity began. By the time, well, you know, all the saviors, you know, Christ come like a title still, you know. So even Moses will come like a Christ same way, because Moses still live the people same way.
Of course.
You know, so you come and say that we true African history there. Commandments and laws, that black man true African history. Because in time of Egypt, that man was worshiping gold and silver and thing in my land. We the only people really worship the God in flesh in my land. All other nations of the Bible, as God teach me, all other nations worship wood and stone in my land. But you see now, it's that time in Egypt now when we know Father Joseph now went down into Egypt. He was a king in Egypt for 88 years too. So you come and see now, under the rule of King Joseph now, in Egypt, when the king just wear the crown, but he let Joseph govern everything. Father Joseph, who won all the wars, all the battles for Egypt. He was governing Egypt, my Lord, under truths and rights. He was directly sent off for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So you know it would be a godly ruling, just natural.
You mean the spiritual Egypt or the kind of the I know from? I mean, maybe there's more that I'm not getting, but I know the I have Egypt, especially in the biblical sense, as a more symbolic place than North Africa, but they are gone into some history there. They bring that into history. So I just trying to check out where they are. I'm just asking it.
Now, this is the problem. Now, that's problematic. Why is it problematic? It's problematic because you've brought Kemet or ancient Egypt into the historicity of the Bible. Now, when you speak of Joseph, of course, you're speaking of the precursor to the Exodus.
Lion, Jacob's son, my Lord. Son of Jacob.
Okay.
Joseph, son of Jacob, my Lord, who was sold into slavery.
Right.
Yeah, my Lord. Honorable.
Yeah. So this is how the story goes. But this story is mythic. It's not a historical story. If you are to extrapolate the information or the message from that story, then of course we need to do that. But then to apply that as an event that actually happened in a historical context would be a grave error. Because it's not a factual story. Now it's the same thing the priest was saying. The priest was saying that these stories, you can either take the message of these stories or you can run with it and create your own historicity. And it would be a fake one. Because when...
So I want to ask the other question, my Lord. So when you say now, the famine what take place in time of Kemet, Egypt, them thing never take place, is that what you say, my Lord?
No, we've had famines. We've had many famines.
No, I'm talking about in time of Joseph and Egypt, if that never take place on the earth.
In the time, what time are you speaking of when you speak of Joseph?
All right.
Because we've had many famines. So
all
you
right.
would get a time.
Well, let me clarify myself, my Lord. Give thanks. Yeah, man. Well, you see, when I tell about the African history now, and our history from Father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that the true history, the black history, that the God what I call upon, as a black man, I speak for myself still right now. I speak for myself right now still, right? How I see it still, because you're the first man here say that in real, so I just tell you how I see it still, And the 12 tribe of Israel now, but Jacob had 12 sons, one daughter, that even link up to the stars, 13-month cycle, everything. These things are natural facts. These things are facts, my Lord. These things are not mythical, like never take place. But different man got different opinions still. We listen to all opinions still, but the truth, we hold on to the truth. So Joseph was so into slavery. I just bring in my perspective. So if I listen to man them to it, I listen to man them still, so I just give thanks for hearing still. It could be brief same way too. And when the man was so into slavery now, the man ended up ruling Egypt for 88 years. Biblical proof, right? Not my own saying, but biblical proof. And under the ruling of, when the man was in Egypt ruling now, he teach Egypt enough things, how to preserve food, everything. But wise man went into Egypt. And the king leaving with the king wear the crown, but let Joseph govern everything, my Lord. So he come and know Joseph for that man was from me directly sent for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the true and living God. The true and living God. It had many gods, my Lord. It had many gods. But you say true and living God, yeah, my Lord. That for me directly, from me lineage, my Lord. Father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, my Lord. That is God in flesh. Right? Yeah, my Lord. Moses now went up on the mountain now. After the man come out of Egypt, Moses went up on the mountain and get laws and commandments. Exodus 20:31. For Jah people, for the Israelites. Israelites and Ethiopians is one people. Jah teach you that. So the Spirit of God in all black flesh. That's natural. It's in all flesh, that's natural, the same way, you know, but I'm talking black in general right now. Within that way, you know, we're even scattered 4 wings like the black people. The outer black man all out in the west. Israelites were scattered all over. In time of Nebuchadnezzar, when he come and lick down Jerusalem, my Lord, black man was scattered 4 wings like Israel.
Okay, when
Israel, black people, it's the same as Israelites. Okay. Yeah, we get scattered in them time, my Lord, you know, even unto the west, my Lord, because of disobedience. We forsake God, my Lord, and went up in slavery, my Lord. A 4 time in them time, my Lord, you know. But we give thanks for the true redeemer. Next time we come again still, you know. Yeah, man, the black Christ in the flesh. Holy Emmanuel, so that's the
Rastafari. Before you come in the King. Now, yeah, I like all the reasoning for it, because you see, okay, I mean, hey, listen, you haven't changed no one from well, I shouldn't say that, but most ones already have their way kind of carved out for themselves, and they're working with that until the Christian that kingdom come. The Christians I come in there. But what I'm saying is that I still appreciate love. You know, even how this reasoning is going, as I said, we're still gonna see it soon, you know, for different reasons. But obviously it's something that we continue with. But you know, and we talking of Rastafari and the Bible. You know, especially, well, of course, to speak of that subject, you still have to speak of the Bible outside of Rastafari. I mean, in a historical perspective, because that leading back to where we are. The Honorable Prophet already said that Sunday he intend to read a speech. Now, anytime you say Rastafari and the Bible, you can't separate yourself from Haile Selassie's outlook on the Bible. You know, it's very important. Even in all your findings, somehow you have to bring it back to say, okay, so how does dwell with what the emperor put into it? So I'm kind of looking forward to that full speech on Sunday King when it comes up. But I just showing that I definitely love I appreciate love, you know, the scholarly angle that we're taking, looking at it not just from emotions and belief, but with clear understanding and looking at it from a proper historical sense. Even before I go, I'm going to try to read some of them messages we have here in the chat. But yet, yes, brother was there heavy. Got you.
Okay. The University of Tel Aviv, Israel, headline, USA Today. Archaeologist tries to rip out Jewish history's biblical roots. The many Egyptian documents known to us do not make any reference to the sojourn of the children of Israel in Egypt or the events of Exodus. This is coming from a university right in the middle of Israel. And they say that the Egyptian documents dating back ages make no mention of the Exodus. Generations of scholars tried to locate Mount Sinai and the stations of the tribes of Israel in the desert. Despite all this diligent research, not one site was identified that could correspond to the biblical picture. Generations of scholars have not been able to find one site identified in the Bible. An Israeli archaeologist is drawing fire for claiming that the biblical history of the Jewish people is probably fiction. Consider the courage this archaeologist has for saying the truth right in the middle of Israel. This is by Professor Zeev Herzog of Tel Aviv University. So archaeology, which was founded to prove the Bible, is right now disqualified. Now, the motto of the Christians is, we shall never change. And our whole allusion to that, because His Majesty was a Christian, that we should be, is in a way a bit cynical, because we are crystallizing our heroes in the past and trying to ignore that there has been an explosion of information with the internet. And many things we are privy to, Haile Selassie I was not privy to. Or are we to say Haile Selassie I knew everything? Which would make him omniscient. It would make him omniscient. And at the same time, it would chip away at his human virtues.
Realistically, yeah. Right.
So it's about time we take our adventure into, because we are special people as Rastafari. And if we managed to see our Black divinity and glory in the Bible, what shall we do with the ancient scrolls and the ancient scripts of our ancestors? We could only become a greater people. So let's not crystallize our heroes in the past, but always live avenue for us to grow and to learn more, because the learning never stops. Some say even after the grave, you're still learning. So Rastafari must not stop learning, because the Abrahamic religions, it's a box, and there's a certain place you'll end up and your back is against the wall and you cannot grow anymore, because it has limited you. And this is just a natural fact. So are we to stick with the Judaic myth of the deserts, or are we to go back to our pyramids and our temples? Which myths shall we use? Myths of patriarchy or myths of matriarchy? So we have to deliberate on that as Rastafari, and not to let our ignorance stand in our way, because all it takes is curiosity to get rid of ignorance. So let us be curious into our African history and our culture.
Yes, my Lord and my Lord. As I said, I'm gonna give you the sealing word to come in honorable prophet, but yeah, well, so much has been said, but I don't even know if I don't even know where to begin with that. But yes, give thanks for such reasoning, and it's still important, because I know on Sunday, outside of the short reasoning we would have, a lot of it is going to be those in the audience with us that will be definitely giving their opinion. Even some that you see in the chat here, they will be giving their opinion. They can verbalize with us. Of course, it's my Lord and my Lord, which will really be on the front stage, but they will verbalize with us there, and they'll be asking questions. So I can only imagine what it will be Sunday in the temple, So yeah, really, because I mean, it is for those who are really interested too, not those who just want to be entertained, those who are really interested in the knowledge thereof. So as I said in the chat here, let me see now. Let me just run. I think I will go from from here, go up. And so we have S fairly say the ancient S fair real fair really says the ancient scripts do not contradict the Bible, which myths doesn't matter. What matters is the essence of the myth, okay? And then Cindy Montanez says, patriarchy is alive and well in this Iowa. You better believe that. And Rastafari actually says, believe that, although, and I'm actually going from below up, actually. So, and then Sister Cindy Montanez says again, the one that survived, what about the one that were birthed? I'm not sure exactly what that is. I know Ashanti Jungleite says that Jassy can speak for him. Yes, so man say you can speak for him, brother. Angie's The Spiral Times channel says, I agree, the Bible is not a history book. It has value, but it is not to be taken as a history book. It has some truth to it, but we will never know them real details. If they know them real details, it's teaching. Okay. I'm kind of skipping over, can I go through everything? Definitely. Johnny Johnson says, Sekhmet is alive and answers prayers. She is very cosmic. Okay. All right. As a ecclesiastical, cosmical, spirituality, education, and etc. etc. All right. And frequency healing says this I is the embodiment of Rapata Heru. All right. Okay. And there's so much more, family. Krishna is Christ. Christ is allegory, symbolizing consciousness. Sister Cindy saying they practice the oldest form of Christianity. Europeans hijacked the Bible and created to fit their image to brainwash us into believing they were superior and than the melanated people, and it goes on and on. We must know that this is Johnny Johnson. We must know what was Jesus Christ of Nazareth, mission statement, gospel of preaching, prosperity to the poor. All right. Yes, remember, family.
Not to cut you short. But remember, Emmanuel himself, who they call Christ or Yeshua, said that his disciples asked him, why you've come to teach, but why do you speak only in parables? And he said, the Bible says that if he didn't speak in parables, he spoke not. So this is to show you the allegory of the Bible. You know?
Yes, family, we're going to look to see this one. I'm going to get a seal of word from the Honorable Prophet, and then I'll still take a seal of word again. But yeah, you can take your time and say anything you have to say, because I know a lot was said. And as I said, you know what I mean, this has really put us in a sense where, honestly, Sunday, I looking for ones to come in and literally, it's like how you say, I have that speech, like a presentation to make man know, well, hey, this is where the truth stand, and my Lord will do the same. Because as I said, I know people come in with the questions, but that's how it is. Rastafari, yes, my Lord.
Yeah, man. Give thanks again, my Lord.
Thanks for the liberation.
I had a pamphlet and liberation there, but from God yourself. But I'm humble with it for now still, because it's very long step. I give thanks for the moment, my Lord, you know. Give thanks for the celebration movement show. 59 years now, you know. You come and see when Love Black Man get waking same way, and I, because when all the thing was taking place, you know, not for we themselves born yet too, you know. From the 60s coming down there, you know. So you come and give thanks for this generation here right now, you know. And I, you know, to be alive in this time is the greatest, you know, in this time, then, you know, give thanks for life, you know, on the whole, you know.
Yes,
give thanks
Lord.
for him and them family, and give thanks for the honorable brethren, same way, we give thanks for rationality, but in all diplomacy, we give thanks, yeah, man, for the love, yeah, man. But unto Anna, Jah make it clear unto we still, but unto them, he give them parables still, but unto Anna, he make it clear for we still same with them. Spectacle still, as Christ show we still, So we give thanks for humble heart of salvation, same way. Honorable, my Lord.
To my Lord, give thanks, all powers. And yes, Brother Wezeheru, if you can give us a sealing word, anything that you desire to leave with us and family.
Okay. Rastafari started off as an African liberation movement, starting from a Congolese form of spirituality we call the Kumina. Then we had the different variations, and out of that, of course, we got the drumming, and we also got reggae music. So our roots are in Africa. Now our philosophy, is our philosophy African philosophy? Or is it Jewish philosophy? The Bible is written on an esoteric level. And for instance, when we speak of David and Goliath, David, in the Bible, many of the stories have to do with the Christ consciousness leading the spirit to the kingdom of heaven, which of course is a state of being. And your head is your heaven. David, with the 5 stones to slew the giant Goliath. The 5 stones is getting mastery over these 5 senses. The giant represented with the 666, with the weight of the armor and the spear, represents the ego within. It's a story about the everlasting battle that goes on within. That's why it's a book for all times and all generations. And just like Shakespeare wrote his plays using historical figures, the Bible was written in that same way. And if we follow the Bible literally, it will only cause wars and divisions. But if we find the spirituality in the Bible, that will only make us unite. But it was written on that levels purposely to divide the seeker from the finder. Because many of us are finders and a few of us are seekers. That is the meaning of the esoteric of the Bible. So I look forward to Sunday. I'll be bringing some literature, so we can go through it ourselves.
But it sounds like you're saying now that if we learn to use the Bible properly, we can leave it on the altar. That's what it sounds like you're saying there.
Well, you see, to understand the Bible, it's a very deep study.
Well, that's
go into the esoterics of the Bible. It's a very deep study. Where we have our African history, we have our own African stories. So why do we neglect them for the Jewish myth? We have Ptahhotep, that's the oldest book. Of course, we have the coffin text. We have the different sages. Why don't we learn about these sages?
I mean, for sure, I agree that 1,000,000%. Well, 100 million is over. And I'm going to even ask nothing else. I'm going to leave it all for Sunday, my brethren. give thanks for the love. And yeah, man, give thanks for all the joy and give thanks, even Honorable Prophet, give thanks for me even set on and give thanks Brother Heru for even coming in, really appreciate such. So I gonna help them to exit out with our love, blessed love.
Blessed love.
Yes, my Lord, give thanks also for the strength, even coming and blessing I in the nest, Sunday we'll be in the temple,
Yes, man.
Yes, powers. Yes, family, give thanks, so of course, the Tigers Temple. Don't run go nowhere, and I here with you. The Tigers Temple for sure will be with us on Sunday. You don't know how it is. You could definitely, give thanks to African Liberation Day. So in the Tigers Temple, you don't know how it is. If you do not know, if this is the first time you're hearing this, what it is, every Sunday, we are going to, so what you say, they done kill 23 people there. Let me see if I can take a look at that even before I come off here, man. Let us see what takes place on that. But remember now, the Tigers Temple is every Sunday we're doing this, We're going to have different interviews. We're going to have different lectures, different presentations, literal debates. This ain't going to be no debate. As you can see, this is a wholesome conversation. This will have even, as I said, naturally question and answers, and you'll be able to make your contribution as well. So I'm looking forward to everyone being in the temple this Sunday. As I said, it's just a small contribution that is only $10, as we say in the islands, 10 cents. You could also get a monthly pass to the temple, where, that's just a little extra. And you definitely hear every Sunday. It is a contribution. It's the Tigers Temple. It's not on YouTube. It's not radio annual. Specifically, it is a webinar setting, Zoom or some other software that we would use on that specific Sunday. So you don't know what to do, just contact us, email us, priestisaac27@gmail.com. That's priestisaac27@gmail.com. And you yourself will give you more information on exactly what you have to do to get your ticket, to that specific event on Sunday. So yeah, what I'm going to do, let me check out the news there for a second. Just give me a moment while I check out.
On the northeastern corner of the Caribbean island chain sits the gem of the West Indies, Santa Maria de la Antigua. Antigua, renowned for its sun, sea and sand. It has also become famously known as the Stonehenge of the Caribbean. Situated between the villages of Jennings, Ebenezer, and Bendel's Stance, Greencastle Hill. 596 feet of volcanic rocks and lemongrass. These volcanic rocks, which are too numerous to tally, naturally protrude out of the hill and are arranged to correspond to the astronomical clock, the solstices, the equinoxes, and the movements of the stars. This has been confirmed by Dr. Maura Imbert, an astroarchaeologist who conducted a study of several keystones on Greencastle Hill. I have visited Stonehenge in England and have seen for myself the methods utilized by the government and people of that nation to incorporate Stonehenge as a part of its economical development through tourism. Infrastructure has been built around the monument, parking lot, museum, and even a restaurant. And of course, thousands flock to the site during the solstices and equinoxes, and millions visit each year. If preserved, developed, and marketed properly, Green Castle Hill, the Stonehenge of the Caribbean, could attract millions as well, in numbers of persons as well as in dollars and pounds. It will provide employment as well as career opportunities for Antiguans, and it would add to the value and appreciation of Antigua internationally. Green Castle Hill has been used for decades as a site for the creation of aggregates and building materials. As it is already a national park, we as a nation should seriously consider Green Castle Hill and preserve it and utilize it, for it is our national treasure and a sacred hill. The nations and nature will applaud us for such actions. I thank you.
All right, family, I definitely found, well, this report I'm looking at here came in about 16 minutes ago. And well, of course, you know, just highlighting, of course, Green Castle Hill. Before I get to that, remember the Solstice retreat is also virtual. For those of you who did not get the word, it is also virtual. But definitely, family, I'm looking forward to as much as of you as possible that could definitely come and join us. I'm talking about for our summer solstice experience, double hike to Green Castle Hill, the yoga retreat, the cannabis tour. Yeah, man, by now you should have already purchased your airplane ticket. Make sure you land here on the 17th day of June. Everything will be in order for you, family, your accommodations, your feasting, everything in order for sure. And the full itinerary is set for you. As I said, Nyabingi service, Sabbath service, also yoga on the beach, not the retreat now, yoga on the beach, morning, evening as well. You'll have the island tour. We're going to have a wonderful lecture session for you as well, where our historians and grills will be giving you the history of the land. So many wonderful things we have in store for you. The Star Watch night on the hill itself, amongst the megaliths, where you'll be seeing, you know, the movements of the heavens, and we explain what star is aligned with what rock and what constellation is doing what, and the full vibes, you know, something you definitely don't want to miss. As I said, your accommodations pristine. You can definitely contact us. All information is in front of you. We could even, you know, give you pictures so you could see exactly where you will be staying. So you have a good idea. I mean, obviously, I know you know that you're in great hands, you know, with Rastafari Experience Antigua. You know, of course, your brethren priest either will take care of you, but for sure, just so you could have a good idea of where you will be staying. All the meals will be fully vegan. Everything will be up full on that level, my family. So I'm looking forward for those who will be coming down to be with us. And remember, if you're not coming, it is also, we'll be doing it virtually, as we always do. We'll be doing it virtually. And remember the virtual pass. It's only $100. Remember, you know, you'll be getting the double hike. So when we're hiking up in the morning, I mean, our camera crew will be behind of us and filming that for you. So you could sit in your living room or wherever you are and come up on the morning hike with us. Yeah, when you come up on the evening hike or the afternoon sunset hike, same thing. You just be sitting there in your car with your tablet in your hand and you're following us going up on the afternoon hike. Same vibes. When we're doing the cannabis tour, so sorry that you won't be there, and you know, but you'll be right there, you know, virtually, to see the fullness of the cannabis store. And even the night of the lecture, you'll be taking in all the information from the grill. So definitely it's a package that's worth it. It's only $100. And remember that tonight, well, today really was, but I would say tonight is the last, today really, but I'll leave it up until tonight, your final chance to get the virtual for only $50. You know, we definitely always make sure we put a deal, as they say, in front of you, so that you could definitely, those of you who know you will be there, you could get the virtual ticket for $50. Remember, that comes to an end tonight. So for sure, make sure you're there one way or the other, family, if you're not there in flesh. And I would love you to come and spend the time with us. And the experience itself is very inexpensive. Once again, when you contact us, all you have to do is contact us, and say, I would like to get a quota. What's the price for the whole trip that I'll be taking? Well, first of all, you won't be tripping. You will be coming to visit us. And then when you get the price, you say, what? Man, I can bring somebody with me too, man. Exactly. Anyway, BBC News is saying here, Texas shooting, and this is 16 minutes ago. This came in 16 minutes ago. This is by Angelica Casa and Max Mattaz. BBC News update 16 minutes ago. That should be about 19 minutes since I found it. And there's a question under a caption here. Biden saying, when are we going to stand up to the gun lobby? And that's a question. I think that is Biden saying that. Is he saying? Yes, he's saying that. Biden, yeah. At least 18 young children and a teacher have died in a shooting at a primary school in South Texas. The 18-year-old gunman opened fire at Robb Elementary School in the city of Uvalde before he was killed by law enforcement officials said. Investigators say the suspect was armed with a handgun, an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle, and high-capacity magazine. The teenager is suspected of shooting his grandmommy at the start of the rampage. All right, the rampage started a long time ago. Local media report he may have been a high school student in the area, and it goes on to say something else about him, and then etc., etc., etc. Yeah, so it's much more than was said earlier, and officially it was of 10, but now it's not 10, it was 14, pardon me, I'm thinking about Buffalo. It was 14, and let's see, they have here a 66-year-old woman and a 10-year-old girl were in a critical condition at the hospital in San Antonio University Hospital, official says. So the fella, I guess those that added to the number may have been those that would have died in the hospital. And yeah, we see no pictures of anyone yet. I guess those are not out as yet. All right, family, give thanks, for the love. Give thanks for this evening. Give thanks for all those who came out. You don't know, give thanks for the African Liberation Day. We'll definitely make sure we celebrate that next day for sure, one way or the other. And I'm looking forward to everyone, not to the summer. Well, yes, I'm looking forward to everyone coming to the summer solstice for sure, but I'm looking forward to everyone in the Tigers Temple on Sunday. Just make sure you are there. Bring your questions, bring your, your comments. Make sure, we're keeping it decent. We ain't want an argument with nobody. If you disagree, you don't have to. No argument, because I'll be quick to moderate it, and we keep it cool and calm in the Tigers Temple. So I'm looking forward to that. So just love to the family, love to each and every one. Give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, the Holy Three in One and One in Three, mighty Prophet, Priest, and King. Yes, in all good doings and sayings, I give thanks in every way. Holy Emmanuel, I Selassie, I Jah.